Greetings, fellow book enthusiasts, and welcome. Today I would like to share with you an incredible story called Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. This copy that I have is the Young Readers edition and is recommended for readers between the ages of 8 and 12. I know there's also a picture book available for younger readers between the ages of 4 and 8, and the original adult version of Hidden Figures. But again, I have the Young Readers edition, and let's dive in. From World War II through NASA's golden age, 4 African American women confidently and courageously stepped into the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, now known as NASA. Their job? To provide the mathematical calculations that would help increase airplane production during wartime and eventually send the United States into space for the very first time. Hidden Figures follows the stories of Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Christine Darden, who participated in some of the United States' greatest aeronautic successes. These women lived through and persevered against the backdrop of some of the biggest movements ever to shape our nation's history: the Civil Rights era, the space race, and the fight for gender equality. With photographs and rich historical detail, Margot Lee Shetterly brings to life the struggles these 4 women and others overcame to forever change the face of air and space travel. Now, honestly, before I ever picked up this book, I had no idea these amazing women were out there in the world at some point. What they accomplished is incredible, and it is written so well, especially being the young readers edition. Young readers can definitely understand and follow the story behind these incredible ladies. So why do I love this one so much? Because it is true, it is factual. This one, it shows you from the start of their lives to where they ended up at NASA and how they ended up at NASA through their hard work, their dedication, their determination, through perseverance. These 4 ladies became instrumental in getting us into space. I know a lot of people think, wow, it's just those guys that, that we see sent up the spaceship shuttles and did all of that. But these ladies were behind the scenes doing more than anybody else for this space program, 4-hour space program. These ladies were incredible. And another reason I love this story, especially the Young Readers edition, in the back of the book, it gives you a timeline of important events. Something that I think young readers probably need to have, because I know my kids, they wouldn't be able to pick up this book and understand right away without having some sort of timeline of where things started and what was happening during these particular times, because that's not the time we live in now. So you have to have a way to understand and kind of help guide the younger readers and help them understand how this fits in, where it fits in. So I really like that there's a timeline back here that actually starts with the Civil War. So it really goes through and up through 1969, when part of these stories are taking place. It also provides our young readers with a glossary of terms. I know as a young reader, you don't know all the stories, all the words that are in a story. So having this glossary to be able to go back and look up, like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And they can look it up right here in the book. They don't have to go to a dictionary or ask. They can look it up for themselves while they're reading a story. So let's get into the first chapter. I'll read a couple of pages from the first chapter of the story. Setting the scene. Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Christine Darden loved math. As children, they showed special skill in arithmetic, and they went on to study mathematics in college. After graduation, they worked as teachers before going to work as computers or mathematicians for the government's Air and Space program. Over the years, hundreds of women worked as mathematicians for the federal agency called NACA, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which researched and promoted the study of flight. But these women were among many who distinguished themselves with their talents and hard work. Dorothy Vaughan was a pioneer. She joined the NACA in 1943, the first year the agency began hiring African American women as computers. She was the first to be promoted into a management position. She was a role model for other women, and she helped to steer the careers of many talented women who were joining the NACA. Mary Jackson was the first African American woman to move up the ranks and become an engineer at the NACA. She was a fighter, standing up for herself and for other women who deserved the chance to prove themselves. Her work helped to make supersonic aircraft fly higher and faster. Katherine Johnson was an African American woman who became an essential member of the team that put the first American in orbit around Earth. She was a dreamer and an independent thinker who was unafraid to imagine what others considered to be impossible. She helped do the math that was required to send the first men into space and to bring them home safely. Christine Darden was an African American woman who became one of the world's leading experts on supersonic flight. She became the face of the next generation of female space scientists. Her groundbreaking research on predicting sonic booms is still used today. The accomplishments of these four women were remarkable, but their work was even more impressive because it was achieved while living and working in the South during a time when racial discrimination was commonplace and when most women with an interest in math were expected to become math teachers. Hidden Figures. Incredible story, true story about these four amazing women. That's why I love it so much, because it shows anyone, your daughters, even your sons, that women can do anything. We can put our minds to what we want to do, and we can get it done through hard work, perseverance, determination. Anything we put our mind to, we can truly, truly reach for the stars. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and happy reading.